Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Gai Gora Madhur Sare,
Jai Gora Madhur Sware,
Gai Gora Madhur Sare,
Jai Gora Madhur Sware,
গৃহে থাকো বনে থাকো সদা হরি বলে দেখো,
Dihe tako, bane tako, sada hari, bole tako,
গৃহে থাকো বনে থাকো সদা হরি বলে দেখো,
Dihe tako, bane tako, sada hari, bole tako,
গৃহে থাকো বনে থাকো সদা হরি বলে দেখো,
Dihe tako, bane tako, sada hari, bole tako,
গৃহে থাকো বনে থাকো সদা হরি বলে দেখো,
Dihe tako, bane tako, sada hari, bole tako,
সুখে দুঃখে ভুলো নাখো বদনে হরি নাম করো রে,
Duke duke, bhulo nako, bhagane hari naam koro re.
সুখে দুঃখে ভুলো নাখো বদনে হরি নাম করো রে,
Duke duke, bhulo nako, bhagane hari naam koro re.
গায় গোরা মধুস্বরে,
Jai Gora Madhur Sware,
গায় গোরা মধুস্বরে,
Jai Gora Madhur Sware,
মায়া জলে বদ হয়ে আচমিছে কাজলয়ে,
জলে বাধা হয়ে আছো মিছে কাজলয়ে,
মায়া জলে বদ হয়ে আচমিছে কাজলয়ে,
মায়া জলে বাধা হয়ে আছো মিছে কাজলয়ে,
মায়া জলে বদ হয়ে আচমিছে কাজলয়ে,
মায়া জলে বাধা হয়ে আছো মিছে কাজলয়ে,
মায়া জলে বদ হয়ে আচমিছে কাজলয়ে,
মায়া জলে বাধা হয়ে আছো মিছে কাজলয়ে,
এখন আছে ধনা পেয়ে রাধা মাধব নাম বলো রে,
এখন আছে
শেষ না বজিলে ঋষিকেশ
হইল শেষ না বাজিলে ঋষিকেশ
জীবন হইল শেষ না বজিলে ঋষিকেশ
হইল শেষ না বাজিলে ঋষিকেশ
Hey, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadambayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam tungam langayati girim Yadkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Okay, continuing from Sri Chaitanya Mangala for a 2 days break. So just a quick review. Mahaprabhu has already taken sannyas, and then after taking sannyas, he decides to leave for Vrindavan. The Shobharati is also there with him. Many devotees are there with him. And Mahaprabhu is in madness chanting holy names. And he goes westwards from Katwa, the direction of Vrindavan, and he enters Radhadesh. So we'll read from here. When Lord Chaitanya entered Radhadesh, he didn't hear anyone chanting Krishna's names. He felt so upset by this that he decided to drown himself in the water. The devotees became filled with anxiety and thought, what will happen if Lord Chaitanya returns to Goloka? Then Sri Nityananda exclaimed, by my own power, I will make sure Sri Chaitanya stays here. Meanwhile, some local boys were tending cows nearby. To secretly please his Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda Avadhuta entered the hearts of those cowherd boys, inspiring them to chant the holy names of Hari. When that sweet sound touched Gaurahari's ears, he jumped up and ran towards the cowherd boys. Sri Chaitanya held their hands and encouraged them, chant, chant, chant. May the Lord bless you, for you have enabled me to hear his sweet holy names. Lord Chaitanya floated in the blissful ocean of Krishna Prema. He took Madhukari from one house. He didn't notice the passing of days and nights. 3 days later, he drank some water and took a little prasada. When leaving for Radhadesh, Lord Gauranga told Chandrasekhar Acharya, don't feel sorry, soon we will meet again. So after the sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a few associates left for Radhadesh. At Chandrasekhar Acharya, he was told to return to Navadvip and that the Lord will see all of them soon. Chapter 14, Navadvip Vasis meet Sri Chaitanya. So Chandrasekhar Acharya is going back to Navadvip. Crying as he remembered Lord Chaitanya, Chandrasekhar set out for Navadvip. The people of Navadvip were anxiously waiting to hear the news of Lord Gauranga from Chandrasekhara. Lochana Das says it is impossible for me to describe the heartrending scene in Navadvip upon the return of Chandrasekhar Acharya. Streams of tears drenching his face, Chandrasekhara walked into Navadvip. All the Vaishnavas ran to see him. Although they wanted to welcome him, they couldn't speak. They immediately broke down, crying upon seeing Chandrasekhar's sorrowful condition. Hearing that Chandrasekhar had arrived, Sachi Devi went mad. With hair railing, she ran down the road, shouting his name. Not seeing her Nimai, Sachi Mata felt unconscious and disturbed, felt anxious and disturbed. Where's my beloved Nimai? Said Sachi Mata. Where did you leave him? How and where did he get his head shaved? Who is that wretched sannyasi who so cruelly initiated my son? Where is that sannyasi's compassion for others? Who is that worthless barber who shaved the beautiful hair of my son? How sinful is that man who touched my son's hair with his razor? How did that cruel barber continue living after touching Nimai's head with the razor? From how many houses did my Nimai beg alms? How does he look with a shaved head? Oh, my son, alas, I'll never see you again. My life is covered in darkness. I can no longer cook and offer food to you. I can no longer kiss your sweet cheeks or caress your beautiful body. Who will read your mind and understand when you're hungry? While Sachimata lamented like this, some devotees went to console Vishnupriya. Vishnupriya's intense cries of lamentation pierced the earth. Even the stone-like hearts of the birds, bees, trees, and creepers began melting. Vishnupriya said, Alas, why has Providence now become so cruel? My life is now empty and meaningless. I'll never see his beautiful smile, his elegant body, or hear his nectarian way of talking. Prabhu, where have you gone, leaving me in darkness? For the rest of my life, I will continually think of you. Because I can't see you, some people criticize me. Since I have no child, I should just die. I have worshipped your face with the eyes of Cupid. How can I live without seeing you? In separation from you, many women have died before. Even his earlier consort, Lakshmi Priya. In separation from you, many women have died before. So why is this unfortunate one still living? Oh my God, Sundara, where have you gone? I am alone, devoid of my Lord. Woman must have a protector. Where will I go to find shelter? Since I can't leave, I'll just die here. You have left your mother alone and destitute. Where have you gone? How can she live without seeing you? Why doesn't my sinful body just perish immediately? Saying this, Vishnupriya cried and rolled on the ground. She exhaled hot breath from her nose. Her lips dried up and her body shivered. Her hair and dress disheveled. Vishnupriya just lay on the ground helplessly. At one moment some other word maybe. At one moment, when she meditated on Vishwambara's reddish lotus feet, at one moment must be something. Upon regaining consciousness, she remembered her Lord and screamed, Lord, Lord, Lord. Vishnupriya's weeping made everyone else weep. Whoever tried to comfort her broke down too. One devotee said, Listen, Vishnupriya, try to control yourself. You know the Lord's activities, so just remember them and pacify your own heart. The devotees sat together and talked. Lord Gauranga's taking sannyas has put us in a terrible state. Being very cruel, he simply left us. How can we live without his association? He is famous for his kindness. So let us remember him by chanting Krishna Nam and thereby attain him as he once promised us. So they are remembering his instructions. Sachi Mata, Vishnupriya, the aged women, children, and all the devotees sat down to chant the holy names and increase the remembrance of the Lord. Although traveling far away in Radha Desh, Lord Gauranga, the mad lion, became bound by their pure chanting of Krishna Nam. So this is important. Wherever we are, wherever the Lord is, Lord Gauranga, the mad lion, became Gaurasimha, became bound by the pure chanting of Krishna Nam. Standing beside Lord Nityananda, Gauranga leaned on him and started crying constantly. The Lord said, "My dear Nityananda, please go to Navadvip and invite everyone to come and see me in Shantipur at Advaita Acharya's house. Tell my friends all about me and that I'll soon arrive in Shantipur. You personally bring all the devotees from Navadvip to Advaita Acharya's house in Shantipur." Gauranga then smiled and bade farewell to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So now Chandrasekhar Acharya went, and now Nityananda goes to revive the residents of Nadia. Arriving in Navadvip, Lord Nityananda found that the people were barely alive. Their bodies were emaciated, shaking because of weakness, and they could barely walk. Without the illuminating association of Lord Gauranga, the whole country became steeped in darkness. Seeing the effulgent form of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, everyone regained their lives and ran to see him, crying cloudbursts of tears. They couldn't see properly, so they stumbled on the footpath. Falling at the feet of Lord Nityananda, the devotees remained silent and stunned. They could do nothing but drink the nectarian beauty of Sri Nityananda's moon-like face with their thirsty eyes. Feeling acute distress, Sachi Mata cried out, "Where's my son? Where have we left him?" Beating her breast and crying, she staggered uncontrollably as she walked closer to Lord Nityananda. "I heard that my son is coming home. How far away is he?" Lord Nityananda said, "Sachi Mata, don't be unhappy. Gauranga sent me to bring all of you to see him at Advait Acharya's house in Shantipur. Don't worry. Soon everyone in Navadvip will see the Lord." Shri Nityananda took everybody to see Lord Gauranga, including young boys, old men, ascetics, girls, and old ladies, the weak and lame, fools and scholars, and the deaf, dumb, and blind. This is nice. Just a small etiquette point here. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. So according to the etiquette, and since his wife is at home, Vishnupriya, he cannot come home. He cannot go to home. So that's one of the reasons also perhaps that he requests all the devotees to meet at Advaita Acharya's house. And everybody can come because it's a neutral place. Everybody can come and see him if they want to, including his wife, former wife. There was an incident like that during Srila Prabhupada's time. The Prabhupada had given some devotees, disciples, sannyas, who were formerly married. Yeah, I remember the story. The details are not so clear, but so the devotees had just arrived. Yeah, or this is what had happened. The devotees had just arrived on a train, and one of the disciples who had taken sannyas, he just remained back at the station. He didn't come to the temple. Maybe they were going to just get back on the train or something like that. So he remained at the temple. He remained at the station. So Prabhupada asked for him and he said, "What happened? Why didn't he come?" And yeah, his former wife would also have been at the temple. So he was thinking that he should not come. Of course, then Prabhupada said, "Well, temple is a neutral place." Temple is a neutral place. He can come. Anyway, so here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to Advaita Acharya's house in Shantipur. Everybody can meet him, as it is mentioned here. Sri Nityananda took everybody to see Lord Gauranga, including young boys, old men, ascetics, girls, and old ladies, weak and lame, fools and scholars, and the deaf, dumb, and blind. Meeting Gauranga in Shantipur. Renewed in strength, Sachi Devi led the procession of joyful Vaishnavas. But Lord Chaitanya wasn't there when they arrived at Advaita Acharya's house. They were devastated. They felt as if a mountain of despair had fallen on them, breaking and crushing their bodies. Lord Nityananda said, Veda Acharya Prabhu, Gauranga told me that he would visit Shantipur and stay in your home. When I last saw him in Radhadesh, he told me to go to Navadvip and bring all his friends and family here to meet him. But who can understand Mahaprabhu's mind? Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda embraced, astonished to hear the sad news of Gauranga's sannyas. Advaita Acharya said, I'm unfortunate because I couldn't get the Lord's association. When will I again see his moon-like face? Sachi Mata was going crazy in anticipation. Again, she asked about her son. To relieve her, the devotees said Gauranga would come soon. Then everyone became eager to see Gaurahari. Suddenly, Lord Chaitanya arrived. His beautiful body glowed brilliantly. Splendid sandalwood tilaka adorned his forehead, wearing reddish colored cloth radiant as sunshine, and holding a sannyas danda. Lord Chaitanya moved like a lion as he walked into the assembly of devotees. The devotees spontaneously offered their obeisances to Lord Gauranga. Everyone became satisfied to behold the Lord's beautiful golden form. The distress and anxiety in their hearts drowned in the flood of love. Sachi Mata stared with unblinking eyes at the charming face of her darling Vishwambara. The downpour of nectar falling from Gaura's lotus face quickly extinguished the fire of agony in her heart. With a bliss-filled mind, Advaita Acharya set Gauranga on a jeweled asana. He washed the Lord's feet and pleased the devotees with Gauranga Charanamrita. Jai, Jai, Hari Bol, filled the air and churned the waves of joy within the oceanic hearts of the devotees. When Haridas, Murari, Mukunda, and Srivas saw Gauranga's dazzling form, their chests felt swelled with happiness. They offered prostrated obeisances before the Lord. Ecstatic love conquered the kingdom of their hearts. They cried profusely, their voices faltered, and their skin exploded with thrill bumps. Ashtasattvika Vikara. Although previously they seemed to be on the verge of death, now they were electrified, totally rejuvenated, alive with bliss. Lord Chaitanya looked compassionately on all his beloved devotees. Expressing his divine love, he touched one devotee and affectionately embraced another. He spoke kindly to someone else. He fulfilled the desires of all the devotees. Clouds of lamentation vanished. Tasting the beautiful association of Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga, they chanted Hari Hari. Then Lord Chaitanya and his companions honored Prasada in the home of Advaita Acharya, the veteran amongst the devotees. For the time being, the devotees forgot that Gauranga was now a sannyasi. So they chanted Harinam and danced joyously together deep into the night. Absorbed in bliss, Lord Chaitanya sang his own glories, that means Harinam. Advaita Acharya and his son joined the devotees in relishing the nectar of Gaurahari's ecstatic association. Everyone was washed away by the waves of divine love. Their bodies showed signs of bhava, such as tears, shaking, faltering speech, and horripilation. Lochana Das becomes happy to hear this. Chapter 15, Shantipur to Nilachala. The last attempt to keep the Lord. After that auspicious night passed, Lord Chaitanya sat on an asana. With his shimmering saffron cloth and sannyas danda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya looked like the master of the universe. Smilingly, he talked with all his associates who sat around his feet. Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, you and the others now can go back to your homes. If the Lord is pleased with me, then I will go to Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, and see Lord Jagannath. Stay in Navadvip and carry out my order. Chant the holy names of the Lord all day and night. Establish the practices of chanting the holy names and serving Vaishnavas. By doing this, everybody will attain liberation. Free from envy, serve and try to please each other. Lord Gaurahari stood up, extended his long golden arms, and lovingly embraced everyone. His eyes swam in tears. and his voice choked up with love. Then Haridas, holding a straw between his teeth, offered dandavats to the Lord. His genuine crying moved the devotees' hearts. Gauranga cried compassionately and said, when will that fortunate day come when I cry like this while falling down at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath? And when will I be able to humbly speak with him? When will my eyes attain perfection by seeing his enchantingly attractive lotus face, Jagannath? The devotees couldn't contain themselves. They wept and collapsed on the ground. Sachi Mata fell unconscious. One devotee held Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya's feet, and cried out. Gauranga carefully controlled his feelings. Srivas, Haridas, Murari, and Mukunda said, Gaurachandra, you are the independent Lord and we are your servants. We are fallen, sinful, misbehaved, and completely devoid of Krishna Bhakti. What can we say about your taking sannyas? But Gauranga, how will you walk far and wide on your tender feet? From whom will you beg food and water? O darling of Sachi Mata, your pastimes bewilder us. Your lotus feet are the only worshipable object for Vishnu Priya. By receiving your glances of nectar, the trees of love are growing steadily. Many are desiring to taste the fruits of Krishna Prema, but your taking sannyas has frustrated their desires. Our life heirs refuse to leave our sinful bodies. We, the most degraded, will sadly return to our homes after you leave. You are the friend of the fallen. Providence made your body full of compassion. You're a treasure house of enjoyable transcendental pastimes. In your wonderful form, you appear in the world to give shelter to all living entities and give them your love. Your incomparably cruel words about leaving us fill us with sorrows. After sowing the Bhakti Lata Bij, the tree of Bhakti, why are you now trying to cut its roots? If someone wants to accompany you, please take him along as an intimate associate. Otherwise, we will all enter the fire. Just see how your poor mother Sachi is now alone and helpless. We can't tolerate seeing Sachi Devi suffering. Vishnu Priya's weeping pierces the earth. The city and marketplaces of Nadia have become empty and lifeless. Homes of the Vaishnavas appear very far away from each other. From now on, we'll never visit the places where you sat and spoke on Krishna consciousness. If we do that, then we will die. Nor will we hear discussions of the Lord's confidential pastimes, nor see him dancing and preaching Krishna Bhakti. We won't embrace him when he dances or sits on his lap. Hmm. We won't see the tears of love bathing his reddish lotus eyes. We'll no longer hear your nectarian roaring in ecstasy during kirtan. Who is it that's closing our eyes and ears? How can one live without seeing your moon-like face? Though we have eyes, who has made us blind? Oh Gauda, please don't tell us to go back without you. We want to travel with you. Your cruel words are burning our bodies. Your love is like the hunter's music, which lures a doe to her death. First, you attract us with your affection, then you kill us by going away. Devotees will die in separation from you. In this condition, how can you keep the name Bhakti affectionate to the devotee? How will you justify your act of saying goodbye to your mother? Who will dare convey this news to your mother? When Vishnupriya hears about it, she'll die immediately. Please consider all these things and then make your final decision. The compassionate Lord Gauranga laughed as he replied, please listen, I'll never be cruel to you. By all means, I'll reside in Nilachala. But regularly you can all come there to see me. Our ecstasy will increase unlimitedly, and I will drown the entire world in the blissful ocean of Harinama Sankirtana. This will remove the miseries and lamentation from the hearts of all people. I will always stay with those devotees, be they Sachi Mata, Vishnu Priya, or anyone who serves me with love. The devotees then fell down at Gauranga's feet. They asked the Lord to keep his promise regarding all these statements. Lord Chaitanya repeatedly said, definitely, I will stay in Nilachala. Sachi Mata was so distraught that she couldn't even stand up without the help of others. She said, Why are you being so cruel to us by going away? My dear son, I will die in your absence. The devotees will often visit you, but I am so unfortunate that I'll never see you again. Yeah, she is old, elderly. Can she travel? You have pacified everyone, but what about me? I have no one in the family except Vishnupriya. Just by seeing her plight, the pain in my heart increases more and more. Smiling, his heart brimming with compassion, Lord Chaitanya said, forgetting transcendental knowledge. Remember, I taught you earlier? Forgetting transcendental knowledge, you're lamenting falsely in suffering. Please don't lament anymore. Go home and live peacefully with others, free from sorrow. Then the Lord offered dandavats to his mother and spoke some sweet, comforting words. Without a moment's hesitation, Lord Gauranga moved quickly towards Nilachala. The devotees loudly roared in lamentation. Advaita Acharya followed the Lord, but due to his advanced age, he couldn't keep pace with the youthful Lord Gauranga. When Advaita Acharya caught up with the Lord, he stood silently with his head lowered and his face covered with perspiration. Advaita Acharya said, it burns my heart to watch you moving to a foreign country. I'm revealing my heart to you. I hope you will respond. In separation from you, all of your internal associates are crying piteously. But for some reason, my sinful heart is as hard as wood, and I don't even shed a tear. Since don't feel anything in my heart, there can't be anyone more wretched than me. Gauranga smiled and embraced Advaita Acharya. He said, listen, Acharya, I'll explain everything to you. Because of your pure love for me, I will never leave you. You should understand that I'll always take your love along with me wherever I go. Then, to represent the knot of love that he had tied in his heart for Advaita Acharya, Gaurahari tied a knot in his cloth. Appreciating this gesture of love, Advaita Acharya thought deeply about Gauranga. Tears flowed in many streams from his eyes. They both became silent, communicating their love through their feelings. Lord Chaitanya said, listen, Acharya, I am controlled by your love. Always remember our pastimes together. Turning away, the Lord walked quickly towards Nilachala. Devotees sadly returned to their homes. Lochanadas says that Gauranga Sannyas is nothing more than a huge spike piercing the hearts of the devotees. Lord Chaitanya's departure turned Navadvip into an empty place, devoid of life. Gadadhar Pandit, Nityananda Avadhuta, Narahari, Srivas, Murari, Mukunda, Damodar, and a few other devotees went to Puri with the Lord. Gauranga wanted to get to Nilachal in time to see Lord Jagannath's Dola Purnima festival. Along the way to Nilachala, Lord Chaitanya chanted the holy names. Hari Hari, he was overwhelmed with Krishna Prema. Sometimes he walked very slowly, staggering as if in intoxication. Sometimes he raced down the road like a charging lion. Sometimes he sang the holy names in a roaring voice while dancing joyfully. Yet the next moment he would cry in transcendental madness. Gauranga would occasionally wake up his dhoti and jump around excitedly. From head to toe, his body was covered with tiny bumps of ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya moved quickly or he moved slowly. He wept or he laughed slowly and deeply. Tears constantly fell from his Lord's eyes. When the devotees offered food to Lord Chaitanya, he would reject it, saying, I will only eat Krishna Prasada, nothing else, except for a touch of prasada that Lord Chaitanya begged from a couple of houses. He practically fasted for 3 days. By his own behavior, the Lord taught the people in general. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't sleep at night, absorbed in pure love of Krishna. The Lord stayed awake continually chanting the holy names. Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Raghava, Rama, Hare Rama, Raghava, Rama, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pari Krishna, 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 Hare. Gauranga sang in a sweet voice, but sometimes his voice choked up due to divine love in this way. Lord Chaitanya and his intimate associates, devotees, joyfully traveled to Nilachala. Okay, I think we'll pause there. Hare Krishna, thank you. Okay. Haribol, Chaitanya Mangala. So, any comments, any sharing?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Beautiful description of just to see how much uh, devotees can be in the feeling realm of really expressing that. I had a very small question. What is Radhadesh that is being referred to? Where is it geographically? Would you know?
Well, yeah, I don't know. But Katwa, that what is described is from Katwa. We can look up the Google map. Navadvip, Katwa. So from Katwa, after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu, he decided to go to Vrindavan. So he walked in the westerly direction. So Radhadesh must be in the westerly direction of Katwa. And of course, Mahaprabhu, it is mentioned, he was not there earlier, it was mentioned that Mahaprabhu, all along, he actually intended to go to Nilachala, Jagannath Puri. But on the pretext of going to Vrindavan, he wanted to deliver the residents of Radhadesh. As we heard today, they were not chanting the holy names. I guess many people were not chanting the holy names. And that's why Mahaprabhu took this sannyas to deliver everyone. Yara dekhe tare kahe Krishna Upadesh. So he went east westward towards Radhadesh. He delivered the people there. Then he again turned east. And of course, he had told the devotees that he'll come to Shantipur. So he turned towards Shantipur, West Navadvip, and then from there he went to Nilachala. So we can look up Google or some other our Acharya's text may also be there, Radhadesh.
Yes, Prabhu. I tried looking it up somehow. Of course, Radhadesh, Belgium is the only one showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this helps. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, this during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's times, this whole land used to be called Gaudadesh. Like now it is called, of course, West Bengal and East Bengal and all that. But it was all one Bengal, Gaudadesh. Yeah. And then this is Radhadesh on the left. Seems like that. Anything else?
Beautiful pastimes, Prabhuji, like listening how the emotional ecstasies of devotees of Sachi Mata, Vishnupriya Mata, all Advaita Acharya and all the devotees. And the solace here is like they finally they remembered the instructions of the Lord and then chant the holy names of the Lord. So that is amazing. And somehow I was just recalling that Guridas Pandit, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that he's going to take sannyas, then he expanded into his deity's form. So I was just remembering that and like recalling that like deities are not different from the Lord. And actually that in that past time that the same thing happened on also like deities start to walk, and then it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Mahajan. Like so I was recalling that, and yeah, so Nam Dham Bhagavatam DT devotee. So yeah, taking shelter of the devotional service. I was recalling that, and the intense desire was keeping up, like to take the DTs. I was willing to write them out to Guru Maharaj and ask when I'm going to India to bring DTs, and so I was those things are just that past time was I was remembering Goridas Pandit's thing here, and you are reading.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Correct. There are, yeah, exactly. There are many scriptures or many, yeah, details connected to the sannyas. As we can see here, Mahaprabhu is going, before he took sannyas, he met individually devotees, person by person. He didn't just sort of post it on the WhatsApp or something. But individually, he conveyed actually, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing. So at least a few devotees. It's impossible to convey to everyone individually, but he conveyed to a few devotees individually, Lord Nityananda, then Gadadhar, and as Prabhu is saying, Gauridas Pandit. Anyway, when he got Navadvip next year, Maharaj probably take us next year or the year after. So Ambika Khalna is a beautiful place, Ambika Khalna, where Gauridas Pandit is there. Suryadas Sarakhel and Gauridas Sarakhel, they are brothers. Suryadas Sarakhel's two daughters, Janava and Vasudha, they are the wives of Nityananda. So all that is there where their marriage happened and all. Anyway, so Gauridas Pandit, because Prabhu said, so he went to break the news to Gauridas Pandit, and Gauridas Pandit was practically devastated. And so he pacified, Mahaprabhu pacified him by giving him, I think the first Gauranitai it is what it is mentioned. The first set of deities of Gauranitai were given to Gauridas Pandit. And he manifested. It's a nice pastime. We did Sunday school drama also on that. So he manifested his deity's form. And Mahaprabhu and Caitanya Nitai, they began to walk. And he says, no, you're not going anywhere. The deities can go if they want. That you're staying. So he said, okay. Anyway, so then Gauranitai stay and the deities walk. So this happens 3 or 4 times actually. And so he's confused as to who are the deities and who is actually Gauranitai. Then finally he realizes, okay, they are not different. That anyway, and there are many beautiful deities. Ambika Khalna only, I think, or maybe somewhere else. Yeah, where is Vishnu Priya Devi's deity? There's a beautiful deity, like Mahaprabhu's hands are down. Amazing deity. Let's maybe find the pictures. Vishnu Priya Prananath. And this Gauridas Pandit's deities, Ambika Khalna, like like this Franke Bihari in Vrindavan. So because Mahaprabhu would walk, Gauranitai would walk away like that. So from time to time, and there were other incidents also. Once Gauridas Pandit's disciple, he held a big festival. And there's another pastime. He held a big festival, Gaur Purnima festival. And the deities of Gauridas Pandit, yes, I'm not getting into the details. But somehow, I think the disciple got overexcited and he didn't really take the permission of his guru before he arranged the Gaur Purnima festival. So Gauridas Pandit said, well, you can have your festival, but the deities are not coming. The deities are not coming. So anyway, he was upset. And anyway, so the disciple went ahead and had the festival. But then once the festival started, the deities, they began to walk to the festival. And Gauridas Pandit, he had a stick in his hand and he began chasing the deities with the stick. He said, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Come back, come back, come back. And that. So anyway, so for that reason, also those deities, yeah, they have this, uh, yeah, Ambika Kalna. If you can find Vishnu Priya's deity also, the other one is very beautiful. Alone, yeah. Anyway, this is Gauridas Sri's Ambika Kalna. There is also a small Bhagavad Gita here, actually, handwritten by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and anyway, many things are here in this temple. And so these deities have a tendency to walk and leave and all that. So they constantly they will close the temple. They will open it for some time and then they'll close the temple to prevent the deities from running away and leaving. That's the mood of the pujaris. Yeah. If you can find Vishnu Priya's deity. Anyway, so Mahaprabhu he gave initially. So this is personally he manifested his deities in his presence. He gave deities to the devotees. Are you finding Akiladar? Thing is.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am searching.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other sharing or anything? Okay. It's Rama Priya sent a link. We had wonderful kirtan here in these temples, Vishnu Priya's temple and Ambika Khal. Yeah, there you go. Amazing. Full screen, make it full screen, yeah. Yeah, he's offering blessings. Or he's actually asking, take my shelter. So different mudras, the deities have different mudras and they convey different things. So he's saying, take my shelter. So it is mentioned that Vishnu Priya Devi's deity is Vishnu Priya entered this deity. And there is also a nose ring, I think, to signify that. Yeah. And sometimes they even dress the deity as Vishnu Priya. Anyway, it's quite interesting. Thank you, Rama Priya Prabhu. Oracle. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, we can end.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept Mangala blessings.
Vibhav.
Prabhu, just one, this one observation that the feeling of being famished when the spiritual master is not there. Like here, the reading which we did today, here we see that when Lord Chaitanya comes, when Lord Nityanand comes, then the citizens of Navadip, they are rejuvenated. And otherwise, they are feeling very weak.
Yeah.
And similar we see in first canto also, like Dhritarashtra's, when Vidura comes to Dhritarashtra's house, Yudhishthir's house, that all the family members are very weak. And so just like observation, just wanted to hear from you that what does this signify, like, because eventually we also will have separation of our spiritual master, and like, so in scriptural sense, does it like signify something, like should we be like like maintaining the spiritual conception, we should just depend on the mercy of the guru, then becomes famished, or why do they become famished?
Well, uh, Anyway, as we've been hearing last night, yeah, the responses of devotees firstly are individual. We follow. We cannot imitate, or we cannot put on something else. Like here Advaita Acharya is speaking. I don't know why. I'm not even able to cry. These other devotees are, um, you know, my heart is so hard-hearted. Anyway, I'll speak of different things. Shrutakirti Prabhu was one sharing with Srila Prabhupada. He was with constantly with Srila Prabhupada. He was a personal servant. He was serving him for almost year and a half, like 24 hours a day. He was with Prabhupada. And so he would travel with Prabhupada, and when he would, travel with Prabhupada, they would be greeted at the airport, right? Of course, Prabhupada was greeted, and he was also part of that greeting. And when he would see the devotees, like, wow, he was like, just jumping in ecstasy and this and that, crying and all. So one day he personally he shared with Srila Prabhupada, and he was feeling that, I'm not feeling anything, I'm with Prabhupada every day, but look at these devotees. So he was feeling that something was wrong. And so he asked Prabhupada, so when I look at these devotees, they are so attached to you, and I'm with you constantly, and I'm not jumping in ecstasy like these devotees are and all that. And so the Kirti Prabhu was sharing, and so he thought Prabhupada would say something, oh, it's okay, this, that, like that. Prabhupada didn't say anything for almost, so that was in the morning, when they had just arrived, I think. Prabhupada didn't say anything. And then during lunch prasadam, when he came, Pratakirti Prabhu again, Prabhupada asked him, he said, do you like to serve me? He said, yes. He said, that's great, good. And of course, Prabhupada was making light of it, meaning, well, anybody can sort of jump and scream in ecstasy and all that. But he liked to serve me, right? That's good. So that's love, he said. And different individuals are different. Some may cry, some may not cry, and this and that. Some may become famished, some may not become famished. There were some devotees, as you're saying, like during Prabhupada's times, so Prabhupada had sent them here and there, right, to preach. And there are some memories of Prabhupada. So where they would literally be, as you're saying, they were not, they were famished. They would write, and they were not able to keep their enthusiasm. And they would write a letter to Prabhupada, essentially sometime, for example, and then just like go back to sleep, and then just wait for Prabhupada's response. And when Prabhupada's response would come back, they would get, enlivened and do something, and then again, like that. So anyway, different devotees impacted Prabhupada's, when they were away from Prabhupada, or eventually when Srila Prabhupada left the planet, some were like devastated. Some could not continue, and some continued through Vani. So even here, as we can see, this is, of course, when such a thing happens, it takes time to recover. Like His Holiness Bhakti Sharu Maharaj also, when he passed away, or now Kadamba Kanan Maharaj, it takes time to again find one's bearings. And like Mahaprabhu is telling, remember my instructions, remember our pastimes, remember our exchanges, remember what services I've given you. So it takes time to reorient ourselves. Yeah. Like the gopis and Yudhishthira and the Pandavas. Yeah. So the important thing is this for us actually, from a emotional perspective, there are primary feelings and there are secondary feelings. Primary feelings, yeah, they come, they grab hold of you for an instance, and they leave. Grief, for example, like that, not lamentation. And then you're back in the service of life. So primary feelings, secondary feelings are different. Secondary feelings are we stuck, which they are life, usually they are life debilitating, secondary feelings. Primary feelings are life enhancing. Yeah, you grieve, but your attachment to Krishna or Guru increases, and then you bounce back stronger. You follow. They don't hold you hostage, those feelings, primary feelings. Service mode doesn't weaken. Yeah, so yeah, so here, as I'm saying, so we need to now look at their lives overall. This is just sort of one slice in a moment, just the sannyas. It's a big deal, when you're with somebody for 24 years and all of a sudden, boom, they're saying they're gone. So it takes time to reorient and accept and adjust and all that. And the devotees recover. They remember Mahaprabhu's instructions, and then they say, "You come Jagannath Puri next year." So they're waiting for Jagannath Puri all year long. Okay, Jagannath Puri, we'll meet the Lord. We'll meet the Lord. So for 20 years, every year they would go to Puri. Shivananda Sen would take all of them. There is this whole anticipation of meeting in separation. And of course, as you're saying, some devotees could not actually live in Navadvip. After Mahaprabhu left for Nilachala, some devotees could not live there in Navadvip because it was too much, the memories and all. So they moved. So Srivas Thakur and some other devotees, they moved elsewhere. Some devotees stayed, some devotees moved. If they didn't move immediately, they moved, because we hear from the biographies that Vasudev Datta, Shivananda Sen, like Shivananda Sen, for example, his house is somewhere near Calcutta. Like that. So they moved after Mahaprabhu. Sannyas. Some stayed. Okay, so it's individual. Like yesterday, you were hearing yesterday night. It's individual. Yeah. It's relationship based.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely enlivening. Yeah, definitely. Like Maharaj is here in Chicago, Nepal. Yeah, so the association, yes, Saturday, Sunday, it's different. But then this Chaitanya Mangala reading, okay, so it's not the same as being in the association. But then all these pastimes that I shared today, Ambika Kalna and all that, where did I hear that from? I heard from Guru Maharaj. So it's there, So Chaitanya Mangala. I mean, where is the inspiration to read Chaitanya Mangala coming from? Or Chaitanya Bhagavad? It's coming from Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. So, he's present. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.